Yo, what's up guys? So in this video, I'm going to teach you what I call the Divine Revelation. I know it's an amazing name. So this routine is actually a completely self-working ace assembly, and the reason why I call it the Divine Revelation is because it's based off of, well, inspired by Larry Jennings' Revelation. The Jennings Revelation is a way to make 4 aces magically appear face up on 4 face down piles. Now, I really loved this routine, and I love the sort of movements that Larry Jennings does with this. He sort of like comes up like this in sort of this prayer position and comes back down on 2 of the packets, comes back up and does this. I always love that sort of thing. Now, if you've never seen this done, I'll show you a clip of Larry Jennings doing that right now.
Divide the deck into 2 packets here and 2 packets over here. Now there's nothing in my hands, right?
Right.
I'm going to cover the packets like this. And the 4 aces appear.
Here, I'll show you a little thing.
Wasn't that just amazing? Now, what he's doing there, the reason why he's doing all this is because he's actually palming cards off of the packets. And I wanted to come up with a way to do it without palming. And instead of making aces appear, I wanted to make cards move around, or so it seems. And so we're here with a Divine Revelation, so let's get into it. Okay, so this is how it is done. So what you want to do is, if you're using a marked deck, that would work better, but you want to mark at least one of the aces so you can tell it apart from the rest of the cards. And I've just marked the ace of diamonds, and all I did is take a black Sharpie and color in a little leaf there, blends in with the black card. But if you're using maybe a red deck of bicycles, just color in a dot with a red Sharpie, and just so you can notice an ace from the other cards. Now you're going to apparently bury these aces within a packet of cards, and this is how you do it. So you give them the aces and ask them to put one face down on the table right there to the side like this. Now just take 3 cards, it's always 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, off the top of the deck and put them face down on top of that ace. Now that's just repeated until there's no aces left, okay? So they take an ace, put it on top of there, you take your 3 cards, put it on there, they take an ace, put it on there. Now you don't want to simply do this, just make it seem casual, like you're not even counting the cards. Just make it seem like you're just randomly tossing cards on top each time, and don't make it obvious that don't make it seem important that it's 3 cards, okay? So don't do this 1, 2, 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, because that would just be bad. And the last one goes on top, and you always end with your 3 cards going on top of everything. Okay, so now if you were to simply deal the cards face down into 4 piles, all of the aces would gather into one of those piles. That's just how it works within the self-working nature of this trick. But that would be kind of obvious. But what you can do is give the deck a few cuts like this, and it'll still work out like that. No matter how many cuts are given, the aces will still gather into one pile. But maybe the cuts aren't enough either. Maybe you have to go a step further on this. What you can do is, since the Charlie Ace Shuffle, all it is gives the deck a cut, but it looks like a shuffle. It's a very deceptive shuffle too. Looks like this. You probably know the Charlie Shuffle already. Just like this. That's very slow, so you can see what's going on. I'm sure you know, but I'll briefly run through it real quick. So all you do here is spread some cards from the top of the deck like this into your hand. Now spread some cards from the bottom and put them on top of these here. Now do that again, spread some cards from the top and put them on the bottom, and then that's the Charlie Shuffle. You're just alternating like that, and done quickly and smoothly. It looks very, very deceptive, like just shuffling the cards around. Now you can have them give, after you shuffle, say you always have to cut after you shuffle, so go ahead and give it a cut or 2 if you like. Cut as many times as you want, blah, blah, blah. You know, magician's patter. Now, whenever you deal the cards out, the aces will still be in one pile, which is very handy for us as magicians. So you give them the packet, so no cheating is going on, right? And you ask them to deal 4 hands of cards each, and so everybody plays cards and they'll know what to do. So they do this, and as they're doing that, as you're dealing the cards out, you want to look for your dotted card, your marked card, right? So you want to watch out for that ace, and you'll know it when you see it because of that mark. So they do this, you want to watch out for that marked card. In this case, I know that it'll be right here. That's my ace of diamonds that I've marked. And then when they finish doing that, of course, all of the aces will be assembled into one pile. Okay, so here's how you do the next part. Now you want to convince them that the aces are actually lost, scattered throughout. So you could say something like this, nobody could know where the aces are. There could be 2 here, there could be none here. And I like to emphasize that. I like to say, when I get to the ace packet, I like to say none here, as if we don't know, right? So really make it seem like there could be none here, and later when they are all here, it'd be a big surprise. Say there could be maybe 2 here, there could be none here, there could be 1 here, 1 here. Who really knows? There's no way to know. I mean, you cut the deck, they were shuffled, you buried the aces in. So let's try this. Let's try to cheat here. I'll teach you how to cheat. We want to get all the aces for ourselves, so here's how you do it. It's an old cheating move, how to move cards around. So what you do is you plant your own hands down on 2 of the piles, come back up, and then do that, per the Larry Jennings thing, right? This fantastic little thing here. And so you do it twice. You go 1, and then 2, and then you go back down as if you're going to do it again, and say, you know what? Why don't you try it? You know what to do. And then you ask them to put their hands down on 2 of the piles. Now, this is just going to be a very easy magician's choice, and it makes sense via this whole procedure. So once they put their hands on 2 piles, you'll know if it's the ace packet or not, because you know that it's right here, right? So when they do this, and when they put the hands down maybe on 2 piles that aren't the aces at first, right? So when they do that, tell them to come back up like this, and now just take away these piles, okay? So if they do touch an ace pile, go like this and just take away the ones they didn't touch, all right? So if they touch here, take away these piles that they touched. If they touch here, take away the piles that they didn't touch. Just all you get to do is leave the ace pile there, no matter what happens, all right? So now, let's say they did this, all right? So now, say lift your hands up and move these away. So now they come back up like this, and now you ask them to put their hand down on 1 of the piles, all right? So 1 hand down on 1 of the piles. If they pick the non-ace packet, say come back up and put your other hand on the other pile, all right? But if they do touch the ace pile, so they go like this, and ask them to put 1 hand down. If they do touch the ace pile, move this one away. So you always want to just direct them just to put their hand on the ace pile, pretty much, all right? But it makes sense because of this whole sort of thing, right? So once again, they come back down, put both their hands on this. They come back up, ask them to put their hand on 1 of the piles, 1 hand on 1 pile, like this. All right, if they do touch that one, tell them to come back up and then put it on the other one like this. And it makes sense via the whole thing, like I said. Now just put this away and say, I don't know if you felt that or not, but what this move accomplishes is being able to move cards around. Did you feel something happening as you were doing that? They might say yes, they might say no, it doesn't matter. Say, well, I think you did because I felt it as well. You can take these cards and show that there are no aces among these, and then have them lift their hand up and say, look, it worked, lift your hand up. And they lift their hand up, and of course all the aces are under their own hand, and they made all the choices and even mixed the deck themselves. So it's a fantastic trick, and worth their practice. Alright guys, so as always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video. It means the world to me, and if you learned something new, if you got value from this video, do me a huge favor, hit the like button and sub to the channel. Until next time, happy practicing. I love you guys.